everyone, welcome to Mala's Verse. Welcome if you're new here, welcome if you have been here before. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. And today's reading is going to be quite exciting. That's why my high was a little high pitched. These are random messages because that's what I was guided to do this week or for this day. And we will have the decks that I chose were very intuitive. I certainly felt guided towards those decks, and only the questions are decided. The number of cards for each of those, for each pile, may differ. It will be very intuitive, very random, as the title suggests. So let's see what shows up for all of the groups today. And we have three groups to choose from. The first one is Inner Peace. You are enough. The second group is the Rainbow Reviver. And the third group is the Gardener. So take a few deep breaths, really relax your body, ground your energy so that the messages for your highest good and whatever is required right now through those random messages comes through for you. So breathe out through your mouth and one more time. You can choose one or more pile with your intuition or wherever your awareness guides you, and I will see you in your reading. Bye bye. Hi, pile number one. If you chose the Inner Peace card, this is your reading. So we have your cards pulled out here. The first two cards here represent what the message is about. These three cards represent the messages coming in through source, what source wants you to know. And the bottom three cards represent what is it that you do not know and need to know. And these two cards actually represent your higher self's guidance for you at this point in time or related to this message. And with the Dabble and Nest card, the question prompt is what would help me feel safe in opening up? And with the Nest card, it is what would more tenderness help here? And the first thing that I was receiving was there's definitely a strong indication towards relationships here, but this is definitely more platonic connections compared to romance. And I was getting more like connections that you may have made through your schooling, your education timeline, or your career, or people at your workplace right now or in your career. But definitely career and education associated energies is what I was receiving, and connections there. And with what would help me feel safe in opening up, I feel like if some of you are people who are hesitant in expressing themselves, because that is the energy very strongly coming here. And it's not just just representing yourself, but I mean just sharing what you want, but it's more so like dabbling and showing up truly who you are, shining your light brighter, and I mean to its fullest, because I do perceive that you might be skeptical about this. And I feel like this is more like it might be an energy of you cringing at yourself, while number one, about your own expertise, your own skills, or your own liking is also what I'm receiving, like the things that you like. Maybe there is an energy where you yourself are judgmental about it, so you are very fearful or very skeptical about sharing it with others or feeling safe in sharing it with others, because those points might be the source of certain ideas that may come up at work in a creative way, but because the source point is weird in your perspective, you refrain from sharing that idea or that creative idea, or even executing that creative idea in your business or at your workplace. And with the Dear Mouse, would more tenderness help? The most, because the reason I'm talking about ideas or what goes on in your mind is because there's a strong purple energy here. Even with the Nest card, we have this purple in the Vessel card as well, and blue is there, so throat chakra, expressing your truth. And the purple card color is here again, so very much expressing your ideas of fear and expressing your ideas, because I feel like you might perceive that those ideas will be shot down, that they will not be looked at for what potential and grandeur they have. There's a very grandeur sort of energy, or something that is very big in nature, an idea that can be very, I would say, I mean, on the scale of life changing or changing the lives of those around you, certain ideas like that, and you might be fearful about sharing it. This could come up also because I perceive that some of you might have had experiences where people stole your ideas when you shared them. And it's just that it has made you extremely defensive, so much so that you're not even putting any action into these ideas, is what I'm receiving. And with the tenderness card here, with the dear mouse, do you see, I mean, generally when we associate mouse, I mean, I know I guess mice and rats are different, but most of the times, people lump or mix these two beings together, and we look at them as, ew. We have that so many of us. I'm not saying that everyone does that, but so many of us have that, disgusting sort of a reaction. And I feel like if there, I mean, this card showing up is for you to reach out to this energy where you feel that this soft and tender, vulnerable energy is actually disgusting. Have you judged that about yourself? Pile number one, and I know that's a very intense energy, but that's what's coming through because I perceive that. Have you shamed yourself for your own vulnerability, or because of the experiences that you had, you concluded that being vulnerable is a weakness, or it's shameful, or even, and especially, I don't feel like you have to be vulnerable with others here, pile number one, but more so about being vulnerable with yourself. Because I feel like your sensitivity, you might feel, you are overly sensitive, you are overly emotional, and so you shoot down any emotionally inspired ideas that come through, or inspired um, actions that you would want to take. Now, I'm not saying that out of emotional overwhelm you should take an action, because many a times that does backfire, but you don't even let yourself, you know, experience that emotion through your body and let it move out of yourself. Because I feel like if that emotion comes up, you shame yourself for it, file number one. And I completely understand that. Sorry for that. Because I have experienced it and I have worked through this, and it's a tough cycle to break. But please know you deserve to, experience those emotions and move it out of your system. Don't let it linger in your emotional body, because it's just going to create a blockage which will not let the true bright sun or solar energy, the star energy, shine out of you. And I feel like this has come through because we are talking about, connections that are platonic and especially work based. So this could have been, in multiple ways that it has showed up in your life, probably in your past when you were in school. Maybe you were mocked for your ideas. I mean, maybe probably by a senior, someone who might have been, a teacher or a guide. I'm just saying that these are just examples. If it's not true, please don't apply. But or, just your peers. So in that sense, that wound has, made you believe that your interesting, fun ideas are not good, or they are not solution based, or they are not practical. But your uniqueness is because of the intuition that you have. It's where you are receiving these ideas from, because it is very divine, is what I am receiving. Because what source wants to tell you is, with the union card, it says soulmates and friendship. Vessel says, admit your true feelings. And solar, a safe and happy home. First of all, number five is extremely significant in this file. So you guys are certainly going through major, major changes. And five could be your life path number 14, or five could be your birth date, or even 23. And we do have cherish at the bottom of the deck. Rediscover the sweetness of life, pile number one. And with soulmates and friendships union, I foresee that to fit into groups, or even friendships that, they were not that bad, they were definitely supportive or still are, but you've refrained from expressing your truest self because you fear that admitting what you really want and sharing that with people who are supposed to be your well wishers and supporters, right? Friends are that. Not necessarily that they have to go out of their way, but in general, just people who wish well for you, right? So you may not have experienced a genuine response from them, and this is when these people were basically good for you and not, taking away from you. So those kind of friends, even they, whenever you expressed it, it must have been not too clear or very, soft, like you did not put it out there very clearly or with a boundary or with a firm energy, and so it was seen as something that didn't mean much, and so everyone ignored it. So you just put, you yourself also kept pushing it under the rug, and you made it sort of an identity for yourself, like, if I express myself, it's not going to, I mean, it will only fall to deaf ears, or people won't listen to me, or it's, it's of no use because people are going to mock me or something like that. All of these beliefs are blocking you from bringing in your own safe and happy home, is what I'm receiving, which is within yourself. It's interesting that these two cards have, I mean, this flower has two more flowers, but this unicorn has, two different flowers or two stems coming out of their head instead of just one. So what that tells me is that whatever is a support that you have been looking for, that's what source or universe is telling you, the secondary support that you're looking for, where you feel, that is a safety nest. And wow, safety nest, oh, safety net. Sorry, but yeah, safety nest or safety net, whatever you would want to call it. But having that support system is not going to come from outside, it is going to come from within. And it's giving me, I mean, one of them is shaped like, a cone, and the other one is a little more rectangular, although I am sure it's circular from the above. But then it's giving me yin and yang energy, basically, pile number one. And having both sorry, having both of those masculine and feminine energy emerging from you, and not because it's supposed to happen that way, I mean, you could say that, but more than that, because it is very much possible, it is very much possible for you to support yourself, pile number one. And this will start happening the more you admit your true feelings towards yourself, like the in because the higher self cards that we have, or the advice that is coming through the other one, is intimacy, and I don't perceive this to be another person. In fact, I would say that it seems like you might be searching for it in other people, but the guidance is that you have that, stable container within yourself, that stability, that security within yourself, to provide this safety for yourself and feel at ease, feel at, union with your own vessel, with your own body. I wonder if, some of you have body image issues here. Please know, your body is the biggest gift, pile number one. It has been with you since day one. It is probably, amongst all things, there are cells fighting for your well-being, for your growth, and nobody else would do that, right? So please be thankful for that beautiful vessel of yours. And anyway, with the vessel card, what I am is what I am is, wow, what I am receiving is that please know that safe and happy home you're seeking, with validation or security, I would rather say security from others, is very much within yourself and within your reach, pile one. And this is only going to happen the more you let yourself experience the vulnerability that you have, the softness that you have, and being careful with it, being, like, handling it with utmost care, like it's a delicate subject or a delicate item, real, like a soap bubble, essentially, and even if you speak too loudly, that bubble can burst. So what kind of words, what softness can you use, pile number one, towards yourself, to make, admitting your true feelings towards yourself actually your biggest power rather than your weakness? I feel like there are a lot of energies that you guys have to just admit to yourself, pile one, and it's going to be so freeing. I'm just getting a little bit overwhelmed with emotions. Please know that you deserve to love yourself so much. And Be expressive in all of your glory, regardless of what connection you are in, pile one. And what you need to know that is hidden is what do you need to release. Bring love into the situation. Conclusions are within reach. And this is new moon in Aquarius, which according to Vedic calendar is actually going to happen soon enough. So how beautifully planned. I just love how source works or the universe works. So this is very timely a message for you, or this new moon is going to be extremely important for you, pile one. We do have Mahashivratri, which is associated with Lord Shiva, and it's on 8th of March, and I perceive that for you guys, it would be a very good day to set, either just set manifestations. If you don't want to set manifestations, just meditate, pile one. And with what is hidden is that I feel like you might be assuming that this is a lifelong cycle for you to not admit this to yourself, or you will not be able to bloom in all your glory. And interestingly enough, I am immediately reminded of Tarot Vinit's recent picker card, which is titled, I don't remember the exact, word by word title, but it's for those who bloom in the dark and in silence. So as and when I'm posting this, it's closer to that date of their reading being uploaded. So I perceive if some of you might have messages there, I'll link it for you guys. Yeah. And anyway, with what do you need to release and conclusions are within, because I do want to go into these readings into these cards first. Like I was saying, I perceive that you may feel this cycle is like an ever going cycle, or this is just the karma of this lifetime and it will never end in this lifetime. No, you just have to begin bringing love into the situation, pile one. It is, conclusions are within reach. It is possible for you to release this totally. You just have to begin setting that intention, pile one. Because with nothing will come out of this situation is of the situation is if you let that overwhelm keep sitting there and do nothing about it. I'm not saying you have to go and announce it to anybody, but be the grace you are towards others, pile number one. Be that grace towards your own emotions. You're such a beautiful being. Please recognize that. And your higher self's guidance is inner peace and intimacy. It literally says you are enough. And she's writing in a journal that says, I am enough. Maybe some of you are going through your Saturn return, and that is why this overwhelming cycle is coming up for you for a cleanse, pile one. And with inner peace, you are enough. I wonder if you are being asked to, I don't wonder, I think it's a very strong indication here that you need to start writing in a diary. And this is reminding me of a K drama that I was watching. I think it's called Daily Dose of Sunshine. And that woman, I mean, the lead character is actually a nurse in a psychiatry ward, and she herself goes through depression. And one of the tasks that she's given by her counselor or her doctor in charge is that to have a diary that says compliments, and the entire diary has to be filled, even if it's just one compliment a day or even a word a day, but you have to write down one thing that you compliment about yourself. And I feel like that would be a great exercise for you to do, pile one, because the intimacy that you are seeking, be it in relationships, romantic, or in just deep rooted friendships, the security is not going to come from others, but it is going to come by recognizing the strength of your own masculine energy. And I do perceive if pile one was drawn to any other pile here, you are more than welcome to check that out. So with intimacy and inner peace, there's so much I energy. I feel like there is intimacy required with yourself, is what your higher self is saying. And the biggest element of intimacy is being, able to be vulnerable with yourself. Pile one, learn to take care of that tender, beautiful heart of yours that's so big, so bright, so full of love. Wow, quite an intense energy. I perceive that taking salt water baths or spiritual baths will be very helpful for this pile. Something related to snow or ice is also coming up, so maybe going to the mountains if you like, or even watching, how there is this country touring related, videos on YouTube which are really HD, and I have seen plenty. Many of them include Switzerland, and because we are talking about mountainous areas, so maybe it's looking at Swiss Alps or Switzerland and meditating just by looking at those landscapes will be very, very helpful for you, pile one, if you can't or don't want to go to a cool place, but it's definitely going to relax you a lot. It does make sense that I mentioned Shiva, because he does reside on a mountainous area. So maybe you guys are drawn to his energy. So only if you are, definitely you can look him up, learn about him, or just chant some of his mantras. Maybe that's going to give you a lot of peace as well. I do perceive that meditating with a white candle will be very helpful, and setting the intention that you whatever is required to release, I let that release from my body, my life now. So pile one, that is all that I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. I hope that this was helpful in some way, shape, or form. Do share your thoughts in the comment section below. Do like, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for joining me again, and I hope to see you in future readings. Bye bye. Hi, Group 2. If you chose the Rainbow Reviver card, this is your reading. So, we already have pulled out your cards here, and there's a space adjustment happening. So, please bear with the spread. And we have these two cards here representing what the message may be about, and these four cards are representing a message coming through source. And these three cards at the bottom are representing what you may not know but you need to know. And here, the card that you chose and another card here, it represents your, the advice coming through from your higher self. So just give me a moment, or I'll just keep it here. Yeah. So with big and prairie dog being what the message may be about, and it says, what do I, wow, sorry for that. What do I want to carve out space for in my life? And the interesting bit is you got this card, which is like the celestial body card in this deck, and this one is the star. So, pile number two, what I am receiving is that many of you either have gone through the dark night of the soul, or you have been doing intense shadow work, and you've been coming out of that phase because we need to revive ourselves, right? The part of healing or the point of healing is not just clearing out stuff. When you clear it out, you get a clean slate so that you can write on that slate what is it that you want, what is it that you want from this new life, this new adventure that you are going into, or this new chapter for yourself. And looking at these two cards coming up, because with the star here, it is talking about, it reminds me of the star card, of course, which is about hope, which is about newness, which is about feeling refreshed, or at least wanting to feel refreshed and at ease after going through a groundbreaking literally a groundbreaking experience with, because before the star card, what we have in the tarot is the tower card, which breaks down all false foundations. And so I do believe that that's a phase you've been going through, or I would say with these cards showing up, it's a phase that's come to an end and you're moving more towards the star energy, which is healing, hope, etc. And more so, this is about now defining what is it that you really want from life after you have cleared up what was not true for you. So of course these changes happen in phases for us, for different reasons, for different lessons, right? So you are currently most likely in a situation where you are being asked to, instead of leaning more towards, okay, everything, like, if we focus, there is no denying about the fact that the more we focus on something, that is more what we receive in our lives most of the time, right? So in that sense, if you're going to focus, because of doing shadow work, we tend to lean more towards the dark as well, especially if we don't fully integrate our shadows. If we're just meeting them and we're clearing up stuff, there's a part about integration as well, and I feel like that is probably the step here that we are talking about for you, pile number two, with the star card, because it's also reminding me of community, of the collective, of alchemizing in a way as well. And so with the awareness that you have gathered, and excuse me for that, that can't be helped. The sounds coming from the background, but anyway, with the star card as well, I do perceive that you are being almost like pressed by the universe now to write down what is it that you want, and not just write down, it's also about actually taking time out for yourself during the day to do things that you actually like, and it's going to draw in people who are of the same frequency or in the same field, and help you, meet new energies, new people that are wanting to do similar things as you are doing, right? To find that support, that familiarity as well. Because I do perceive, like, after going through a dark night of the soul, or shadow work, we sometimes tend to believe that we are the only ones suffering. We do tend to feel like there's no one else who would embrace us for who we are. Those kind of negative thoughts, especially about being lonely or alone, does creep up. But you need to know that the more you spend time in recognizing what you really want to do, what you really want to experience, defining it, taking actions towards it, is going to help you find those people in your life. Pile two, and these cards here representing, I mean, it's interesting that we had the star card here and we have number 18, which is the moon card in tarot, and we have solar, which is sun, right, at the bottom of the deck, although that's number 5. And it's just that, all of these cards come together in the tarot, like 17, 18, 19, star, moon, sun. So I do perceive, you're going from the star to the sun. And the point is, you have to realize from those inner work, or those moments of inner work that you have done, or that phase of inner work that you have done, through that, what is it that genuinely lights up your subconscious, your it feeds the subconscious in a fruitful, conscious kind of way. You need to jot down those activities, those ways of thinking, those beliefs, and recognize how can you put them into life, even in day to day things. For example, even if it's just like making a hot beverage, a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, putting that intention into that coffee, that this is going to nourish my body, this is going to make my cells happy, really putting down the groundwork to change the vibration within you now, especially because you've cleared the stuff up, right? So, or you are clearing it up, so you are in a space where you can define what you would like to have. I mean, obviously you can always change that definition, but at least put some intention so that you know where you are heading. Otherwise, it can be a very chaotic and confusing time period to maneuver through. And source here, or the universe here, is telling us with these cards, and the cards are strange fruit with number 12, snacks with number 30, and again 3 is being very prominent here. So Jupiter energy and expansion energy, and also communication, creation, all of these energies are associated with the number 3. And we have 1000 and cherish with 18 and 15. 1000 is somehow reminding me of that dialogue from Avengers, wherein his name is Robert Downey, but the character that he plays, Iron Man, he says to his daughter, "I love you 3,000," right? So that is the energy that's. I mean, somehow got reminded of it. There's a lot of love that is required, in the sense that you have to pour in that love now towards yourself and love towards those activities that really light you up. Source is trying to tell you here to, embrace the differences that people around you have, and embrace the differences that you have with them. Be an allowance of it. Don't try to, because now you have cleared it, so now it means you must be more in harmony with people. Maybe not. Maybe not in the sense that you would want. The harmony may come through being an allowance of letting that other person be whatever they are, the good, the bad, the ugly, the great, the worst, or whatever it is, letting them be that, and you be yourself as well in all of your glory, right? And release judgments around food. Maybe this is literally a message that needs to come through, but more than that, I'm releasing judgments about the fact that, the more we look at our shadows, our darkness, we are able to see that in other people, and either we want to help them rectify it, or we just want to help them remove it, or we may even get triggered by the fact that why are they not seeing that this is where this is coming from, right? So removing judgment about it, releasing judgment about it, and letting people narrate their stories for themselves. Do not go, giving essential. I don't know why this is coming up. Maybe you are someone who really likes to help people, so you may give a lot of genuine advice, but it does come, with people who are not willing to receive, it will come off as unsolicited advice, and they might not look at it the way you would want them to look at it, right? So there is this energy wherein even if you recognize people are, sabotaging themselves, right? Let it be. Let them recognize it on their own. Let them work through it on their own. You lead by example. If someone comes up to you and asks for help, of course, go ahead, do it. But I do perceive that just recognizing the situation from, outside perspective and immediately wanting to give a solution, maybe there's this energy of refraining from that, and more so, leading by example, like walking your talk and letting people learn from that, instead of you going and outwardly helping them out. I'm not saying don't share your story, definitely do that, but don't share it with the intention that people should understand it, should learn from it. Recognize that there will be people who are wanting to receive it, and they will receive what is necessary from that story. And it may be people you may not expect that, they will receive your story. It could be those people, and the people you would want to receive from you may not actually do it, especially if you force them. It's, how sometimes as mothers, children, as mothers, they want their children to have nutritious food, and many a times it doesn't work if you force feed them. But if you are playful about it, you're creative about it, and you're not forcing them, but you're keeping it as an option, that actually does work out sometimes. So that's the kind of analogy coming through. I hope that message got through to you, and with utmost grace and ease. I'm not trying to judge anybody here. I have done that too. Like I felt, things that I recognized are sabotaging behaviors, and I wanted to help my loved ones, but I recognize that they need to learn at their own pace, because I can't force them to receive something that they are not willing to receive. It is a choice that they need to make. It is not kind of me to want to, or wow, it is not kind of me to give them information or share things with them if they are not in a position, they are not in a vibration, and they're not choosing to be in a vibration to receive that. It is totally up to them. There, it is about their willingness. There's nothing wrong about them in it, there's nothing wrong about you in it, right? So it's just not kind for us to feed people or give to people what they may not be willing to receive, even if you think it's a good thing, right? So with 1000, I feel like that's the deeper understanding that you are being asked to receive here, pile 2, and the cherish, rediscover the sweetness of life. That's what I was saying. Like, what is it that comes from you that is truly, joyful for you, that you can do? Maybe it's, as simple as singing, dancing, writing, whatever it is. Maybe it's just making different types of cocktails, mocktails, whatever it is that really brings you joy or makes you happy. How much time are you spending doing that? And there is a strong indication here to increase that time period or increase the frequency of those activities in your day to day life here, because that's going to give you a sense of community or help you build a sense of community that you may have been wishing for, especially after this transformation. Pile 2. And what you do not know and you need to know, for that we have adjustments are required, third quarter moon. Let me see if I can adjust these cards. Yeah, third quarter moon. And we have conclusions are within reach with full moon eclipse, and emotions, like I said, are running high with super moon. And that's what I was receiving, that you are not recognizing that maybe your stress levels are actually high right now, pile too, and it might be showing up in different ways, wherein you might be feeling or experiencing unexpected fatigue, tiredness, fogginess, of your mind. So if that's the case, maybe you require to take more rest, especially in your emotional pain, and that's going to happen more when you actually give time to things that you cherish a lot. With 15 also being represented as, the number here, it is 15 adds up to a 6. It's about harmony. There is a hidden message coming through wherein you might be wondering, like, after going through such a tumultuous journey or an arduous task and all of those things, why why are things like this, and why have I not been able to find love amongst existing people or newer people even, or like why new people with love and kindness are not showing up. The hidden message here is with adjustments are required. And again, number 3 is showing up. The creation and the initiation step has to be taken by you, pile number 2, and that is from within. Conclusions are within reach, and that's more like I mean, the within world is, it's not about, it's within your grasp, like outside of you, but more so like within your reach, inside of you, you can reach to those conclusions and have clarity. And especially I feel like having experiencing security in your emotional self is going to come through these activities that you do for filling your heart space. And this is going to come through very creative activities, to be honest, and also any activity that helps you release your emotions out there, and like having essentially a healthy way to deal with these emotions that are coming up. So this could be even exercise, dancing it out, some form of physical activity. Maybe you take up martial arts or something like that if you are interested in it, or it could be a very slow moving physical activity as well, which helps you move that energy in within your body as well, and eventually out of your body, because that is very much required. You may be feeling that the irritation and negativity that you're feeling is because you've, after this experience, after this shadow work thing, you may be thinking that it's your higher level of awareness that's picking up on people's BS. I'm not saying that is incorrect, but what is required right now is the adjustment, and the adjustment will come through from within by spending more time on things that you cherish. And that's going to equalize the flow more and help you realize how much of it is, other people, and how much you are trying to fix things with the new learnings that you have had outside of yourself. The adjustments required are within more than without or outside, right? And we do have don't let pride get in your way. I fear, wow. So I do perceive that there's some sort of a fear here, is that if you choose to do activities that you really enjoy and you cherish, I feel like you may have this narrative within you that doing things that you enjoy or it's like an indulgence, which is not right. So, and that you may come off as rude or selfish, etc. So I do perceive that that is another thing that is probably holding you back from, receiving this, receiving the goodness of what actually has transpired, in the sense that the tough terrain that you have crossed and the results that you really wish to seek of from it is actually by investing time that in things that you really enjoy, especially something that opens up your mind, your heart, and your mental plane especially a lot. And in in that is what I'm receiving. If I feel like if I indulge in things that really make me happy, I am I'm not being a person that I need to be. And this could be any form of a definition, like the way you need to be spiritual, maybe, or like how a technically spiritual person should look like, feel like, or be like, or the activities that they could do, or someone who actually cares for humanity wouldn't do these. They wouldn't spend time on themselves. They would rather spend time on catering to others and trying to help others. That's where adjustments are required, because if you cannot fill your own cup with allowance, with not having issues with shame or guilt within yourself, and being kind towards that shame and guilt within yourself, and having the grace to help, give yourself the permission to release it. If you won't allow yourself to do that, how can you provide that for somebody else, right, Paltu? So there is this strong energy here to cherish what you like and not be shameful about it. Do not feel like enjoying what you like is actually a crime, because that could be an underlying fear here. And you probably are trying to stop this, stop yourself from enjoying this and maintain a certain image. So you need to flip that switch and actually spend time without judgment about your own self. Spend time in things that you really enjoy, that really, it calms your body down. With the rainbow reviver as your higher self's advice coming through, it's literally giving us this energy again, wherein tap into this newness that is coming through. The light that is at the end of the tunnel is for you to experience. So give yourself the permission to step into it and enjoy life in all its glory. Enjoy the enjoyments in life that are in various colors, shapes, forms, textures, whatever it is. Give yourself the permission to enjoy that. And this could be as simple as going to a nearby park, and if you are able to, like if you are allowed to, because as an adult sometimes you're not allowed to get into children's park, but if you are allowed to, or if you can in some way, shape, or form, enjoy that swing. Go to an adventure park and enjoy some time there as well. Tending to your inner child's joy right now will help you so much, Pile. To actually, it's going to help you a lot. Maybe play games with your friends that you enjoyed as a child, running around, being messy, getting into the mud, having fun in the rain if you can, according to the weather around you, or whatever the climate is, because only if it's summery I would suggest doing that. And really enjoying yourself, letting your body enjoy the gifts of the labor you have done emotionally and mentally to get out of certain mindsets. Okay, so whatever mindset actually you may have had which was restricting you, and giving yourself the permission to enjoy the fruits of it, that's going to help you have more ease. And this enjoyment does feel like in simple things that you enjoyed as a child would be a good starting point for you to begin on this enjoyment journey and have ease, have more adjustments happening. And we literally have the divine masculine. So yeah, there's a lot of action required within congruence to this energy, I feel, because you might be stuck in that you know getting out of that dark night, or the soul, or the shadow phase, or the work that you have done on yourself which may have been more dark, or looking at things that we tend to ignore. And so getting out of that requires action from your side. And it is a refreshing or rejuvenation rather of your divine masculine energy is what I am receiving. Even it's just that I don't know why the zoo is coming up, but something related to the animals. I don't personally like zoos, but only if the animals are rescued. But I mean, that's a whole other topic. But I hope you get my point. Like connecting with animals, and definitely this connection with the lion is showing up. So maybe go for a jungle safari if it is an option for you, or just going out there and if you have this blessing of having an office. I was sorry, I meant a forest around you. You can go there and spend time as well. That's going to kickstart a lot of energy too. And yeah, with the solar thing and this Leo, wow, we do have full one in Leo, so there's a strong Leo energy here. Maybe some of you are Leos, but the point is the sun energy is what I'm talking about. So going out there and doing more work with the fire energy, with the sun energy, is also going to help you a lot. We are literally going from dark to the light, right? Embracing the light now. And so infuse that energy into your life as much as you can. Pile number two, maybe light a candle. Wear more yellow if you like yellow color, or more fiery colors if possible. Include that color more in your life. I would say maybe have like a lion in your phone's wallpaper as well, just to inspire that, light energy, that energy of being a leader and shining in all your glory. So pile 2, that is all that I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. I hope that this was helpful in some way, shape or form. Do share your thoughts in the comment section below, and like, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I hope to see you in future readings. Thank you. Bye-bye. Hi, pile number 3. If you chose the gardener card here, this is your reading. So these two cards here represent to us what message is coming through, or what is the message about. These three cards are the messages coming through from source or the universe. And the bottom three cards here represent what is not known that you need to know. And the card that you chose, along with another one from the same deck, is representing advice coming through from your higher self. So we have the gardener and serendipity for that. So I'll just keep that here because it's really messy. Uh-huh. I couldn't do that for any other pile. I mean, I didn't think of it as an arrangement. So I feel like it makes sense with, even expect powerful change. There's a lot of unexpected energy coming your way, which is also interesting. That's certainly a random message coming through. And I feel like it's in a good way. It's in an unexpected way, something that's going to bring you a lot of relief. Pile 3. Anyway, the most interesting part while taking out cards for you was that most of your cards, pile 3, are like like a perfect combination of pile 1 and 2. So I wonder if people who have come to this pile were drawn to the other piles as well. But definitely, really, really, I mean, these two cards are literally a combination of one card each from each of the groups. And we have one showing up here. We have two cards showing up here from the other two groups as well that had shown up. So we have Nest and the Star for you. And we have 1000 with number 18, Vessel, number 14, and 10, Rainforest. So your message is about, I feel like, because we have this bottom deck energy, as you know, and the word is work. So I do perceive for a lot of you, this is regarding work, this is regarding career, and it says, what is mine for the doing? Prairie mound ant. I wonder if some of you have been noticing ants a lot these days, or insects or beings that we actually tend to ignore, or mostly find as many a times as nuisance as well. Maybe it's true for you, maybe not, but generally that is an energy, even when it comes to mice. And we have, do I accept myself without judgment? Earthworm, breathe. I mean, these all of these beings, these animals or insects, they all contribute so much. I mean, their contribution is bite sized, I would say, but it plays such a big role in the entire ecosystem. And I feel like that's also a strong message here for you, pile 3, that I do believe this pile is resistant about rest. Because so of course, so what I'm trying to say is that most people here are workaholics. I mean, of course, only apply on what is true for you, pile 3. But I do feel that that energy is there, and I feel like this is because you're trying to achieve with the star card here certain definition of what success looks like, of what, that stardom. I'm not saying that you want fame, but that, definition that maybe have been created with life experiences you've had, or just in general what society deems as successful, and how specifically success should come about and look like, all of these things, like even the journey, how it should look like. I feel like you are giving a lot of energy, a lot of efforts, a lot of time into actualizing that in that sense, and not giving yourself the permission to actually relax and see how can you be more tender with the process. Because I feel like the entire spread here is so much about relaxing, really figuring out what is true for you. And we literally have the gardener, prosperity lies ahead, show the world the real you, meditate and contemplate. Yeah, that's what I was saying, meditation, relaxing, because Taurus energy is also, it is a stubborn energy, but it's earth energy. Earth energy is slow moving. And I do perceive that a lot of this definition of what success should look like comes from, you know needs that are, I don't even feel like it's because of lack of basic needs for for this pile. So only if it is applicable for you, only then apply it. Because I do feel that in some way, shape, or form, you are taken care of in the physical reality. The reason is universe here is trying to tell us with the 1000 card deep understanding. I feel like there is that opportunity for you to sit, meditate, and genuinely sit, like take out a notepad and write down as much as you can, or just word vomit or whatever is required, but giving yourself the permission to truly recognize what is success for you. Because with admit your true feelings, I do perceive that maybe you are in a situation where your energy is not being honored, your thoughts, ideas are not being honored, and you're still trying to prove, you're still trying to be the star in the eyes of those people, or you're trying to live according to the standards set by them, or what they may expect from you. But what universe wants you to know, a source wants you to know, is to sit down and take a deeper, take a look and take a note of, a deep within. What is it that you want? What is success for you? What is yours for the doing? Where is it that you need to channel your energy? Is it actually about, maybe you need to channel your energy in accepting yourself without judgment, more than actually working on your goals at this time? Because would tenderness help, or would more tenderness help, also is letting me know that there is more allowance and acceptance for yourself that is required here. Releasing judgment around food is another card here at the bottom of the deck, which, and beneath that we have break your routine. So you require relaxation, and you require a judgment free environment for yourself as well. Because yes, it's about you, but I feel like externally also there are energies that may be judging you, or just these may as well be, well wishers, but they are judging you because they are looking at you from their perspective of life, of society, etc. And because you may not have achieved, or are not achieving things at the pace at which you should according to them. And so that is also, creating this negativity in your head about, am I on the right path, am I not doing enough, is success for me or not? And interestingly enough, with 10 rainforest, we have the good luck card. And in fact, even in the cards that are here, which shows us what is it that you don't know and you need to know, the first card itself is saying Prosperity lies ahead for you, pile number 3. And I feel like this will become clearer the more you are going to admit your truest feelings towards yourself. This, I feel like, is like an acceptance for the kind of thoughts people have about life. And this could include people you really care about. And so, you are seeking support from them in some way, shape, or form. Maybe they are not in the position, or they may not have the perspective to receive the whole of you and provide you support the way you require. And there is nothing right or wrong about it. I do believe it's just because you are someone who is so talented and so capable. The more you realize what is true for you and you start putting that action into the world, the more those people who genuinely recognize your efforts, who genuinely honor what you have to offer and see you as the star innately that you are, they, I mean, like, those people will start showing up then. But you have to admit to yourself and maybe, realize and accept and be at ease with the fact that like many people are not actually willing to listen to newer perspectives, because it is scary, it is daunting, it is scary to accept something new, to dive into something that is not known to them. And I do feel like this is a pile that's doing, something new. You are not doing what people around you are doing, pile 3. So there is this requirement of understanding that you are on a pathway that is quite different, quite new, very powerful. And so it can be intimidating and even mind boggling for many people because it's so out of the norm. But show the world the real you. I do, and it's interesting that it came right below. Admit your true feelings. I do perceive there's a strong message coming here, even through the known and the unknown, that you need to realize what is it that you truly want. Maybe you are actually not so much of a workaholic, pile 3, and you really enjoy calm, peaceful time. So recognizing that and giving yourself that peaceful energy, because maybe that pause and that, yeah, and even if it's not a pause but like multiple pauses throughout the day where you are not doing anything and you're sitting still, you, even if it's like 5 minutes every 3 hours, but you're sitting still and giving yourself that time to sit still, think about nothing at all, not be distracted by anything at all. That 5 minute in itself could be the nitro energy, so to speak, as an example, as we see in fast cars or whatever, sports car, etc. Maybe that is the nitro you require, that is the push that you require to move in the right direction and probably even go leaps and bounds ahead of your current pace. But you need to take those breaks, because you have to understand for yourself, not to anybody else, not about showing it to anybody else, not about sharing it with anybody else, but more so admitting your true feelings to yourself in your mind, and then taking actions or making choices accordingly. I do feel like if there is an energy of not being recognized for the efforts you are putting in, for the changes you are bringing in, pile 3, please recognize the more you put your work out there genuinely without expectation, the more truer people who are actually around that frequency, around that vibration, who would want to receive from you, are going to show up. Because the what is unknown is literally expect a powerful change. And with the good luck card and prosperity lies ahead, I feel like maybe something that is more simpler, something that's probably even slower to build, or has to take up a slower pace, even if it's not slower to build but has to take up a slower pace. And I feel like you might be receiving that in your intuition. Doing or going down that path might bring you more prosperity, more luck, and more joy than you would expect. Clearly, that is coming up. Meditate and contemplate with new moon in Pisces and full moon in Aquarius. Wow. Hmm. I do perceive that the first half of this year is going to be very interesting for you, in the sense that not just interesting, there are going to be a lot of revelations, and maybe this is the time period that's going to give you a push start for a bigger jump in your own life. But you need to meditate, contemplate. So, first of all, be the truest version of who you are with yourself, like admitting, and not, I mean, it's in the sense that when we love people, I mean, we do love people, but when we love certain people and we have loved ones and we expect them to accept us for who we are and accept our changes and flaws or not, or, what's and all, yeah, in that sense, or you actually do it for others and you expect them to be their highest potential, but they may not do it. They may not want to do it. There's nothing wrong in you wanting to or expecting it, but expecting it and making it a benchmark for you to then evaluate what the relationship is or how they value you is actually not going to help. You have to be an allowance of people being the way they are, pile number 3. And because I feel like you might be expecting appreciation essentially and recognition from certain people who may not even realize the gift that you are bringing, and that's okay. I feel like they will you know catch up with you in time, because with Aquarius energy also and Pisces energy, I feel like you are ahead of your time. And like I said, you venture into more of the uncertain, the unknown, and with we have full moon in Sagittarius. Look at the bigger picture. Yes. So you look at the bigger picture. You look at, even if it is a chain that requires you to jump into something that you don't know, but your intuition, your higher self, your spirit guides, archangels, or source, universe is guiding you towards this, you will take that leap of faith and you will educate yourself about it. So you may have that strength, but people around you may not. So you have to have that, you have to give them that leeway and be kind towards yourself and them for letting them be who they are and not wanting them to appreciate you or understand you, even if it is something that hurts you. You can express it for sure, but the first thing you need to do is being honest about that with yourself rather than seeking consolation. I think that is the right word, or seeking understanding from them. I do perceive that this thing that you are underestimating, either in terms of what it is, like how it is, how simple it is, or how slow it may be, or how unassuming. I don't know if unassuming is the right word, but you may not expect it to blow up, but I do feel like two cars here are almost three cars here are telling us there's a powerful change coming through. And I feel like the more you accept your true feelings, and especially if these are feelings about what you really want to do, what is success for you, and this is beyond survival mode, is what I'm receiving. That's why I was saying that even if financial conditions are not so good, I do feel like for this, while you are at least in the situation where you can afford a roof over your head, clothes on your back, and have food in itself, and that in itself is a big blessing. And if you are there, even I feel like even if for some of you you are not, they still have that blessing from God to actually explore what you want to do and recognize what is true for you. Just give me a moment. Not just like recognize, but taking action towards those things. And it's going to bring you an unexpected source of income, at least abundance. The minimum, I mean, you will feel abundant. And when you feel abundant within, money flow will, up, it will automatically start coming into your life, in the sense that, like, that it's, oh, how to explain this, in the sense that even if physically you may not receive money, you will start getting ideas, you will start getting awareness about whom to connect with, who can help you, switch on that tap of inflow of money, pile number 3. And we have the gardener and serendipity as a guidance from your higher self, which literally tells me that you have to water your own garden guidance. Wow. So maybe some of you guys are underestimating the guidance coming through from your spirit guides. So you need to water your own guidance first, pile number 3. And I perceive that, you may be looking at going through your journey and you are looking at these rocky terrains, right? And you're feeling everything is dry, rocky, sandy, whatever. But you're just about a corner where the second you move into, you will realize it's an abundance of so many things: abundance of light, abundance of greenery, abundance of so many different energies, of in terms of like different animals, especially in terms of a support system, somebody being a mentor, and abundance of little small miracles showing up with these fairies, or this fairy actually serendipitous moments, And with the gardener card, I do perceive that you are being asked to nurture your inner gardener, in the sense that the gardener takes their time to build their garden, basically. So, giving yourself the grace, the patience to let it grow. Even if something seems very simple, let it grow. Give yourself the permission to at least see it grow, see it all the way through, and not give up immediately. Because if you're giving it up on the basis of what you have learned success to be, rather than what is true for you in terms of success, especially in societal terms, what you've learned success to be, and in the light of that, if you're giving up, you are doing a disservice to nobody else but yourself, pile three. So there is this energy of calming yourself down, because actually calming yourself down is going to give you a push that you've been looking for. Really relaxing yourself and nurturing and tending to the seeds within you, because these are all naturally occurring skills that I'm receiving, very natural things for you. Just give yourself the time. Don't look at the number of months required, years required, or whatever. Just take time. At least for now, I perceive that defining it with time is going to be exhausting for yourself, for you. So give yourself, maybe just try, saying it. I mean, just let yourself believe that you're doing it for a month or two. Then when the month ends, give yourself the permission to, okay, this was not so bad, so let me try it for another month again. And don't talk about this to anybody, not at all. Yep. Don't talk about it to anyone else. And like that, build on a few months. Maybe it may not even require a few months, for certain number of these things, because we do have the first half of this year and we are already in March. So we are in that Aquarius Pisces energy, and we are going to go into Taurus energy. So probably somewhere around, May, June, things might shift for you in very unexpected ways. And like I said, in a way which is more solution oriented, and which will bring a lot of clarity more than you expect. And that in itself will give you this green signal within your head, like, now I know what to do. So, I don't have to listen to anybody else. I'll just go ahead doing this. So that is the clarity that will come through for you, pile three. But you have to slow down, especially in your mind, in your heart center. This is not about giving up work. This is more about including more quality rest and meditation time, so that you honor your own inner guidance, and not, look at it as something that's just, a fluke, pile number three. So, wow, that is a powerful message coming through. So, Pilotry, that is all that I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. I hope that this was helpful in some way, shape, or form. Do share your thoughts in the comment section below. Do like, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope to see you in future readings. Bye bye.